Okay, so here we have Unit 1, Lesson 2, Evaluate and Simplify Algebraic Expressions. Our objective is to evaluate and simplify expressions involving real numbers. And we'll talk about real numbers and some of their properties later on in the class. But today, all you need to know, real numbers involve whole numbers, decimals, fractions, positives, negatives, any numbers we use in a lot of our real life contexts. So I'd encourage you to pause and read this paragraph and look at the diagram just to get an idea of how to deal with expressions, okay? This also talks about numerical expressions, which are just expressions that involve only numbers and no variables. An expression that's formed by repeated multiplication of the same factor is what we call a power, okay? So anything with exponents are gonna be called powers. So a power has two parts, the exponent and the base. The exponent is the number of times the base is being multiplied. So in this example, 3 is the exponent, 7 is the base, which means we multiply 7 using 3 factors of 7, okay? So that's just a quick refresher on how exponents work. So getting into example 1. We want to evaluate this expression when y equals -5. So we have an algebraic expression. It would be easier to evaluate if it was numerical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take y, I'm going to substitute out y and substitute in -5. So what this will look like is -6 parentheses -5 to the second power minus 11 times -5 plus 34. Okay, so for me to simplify that, I've got to think back to order of operations. And if you remember this acronym, is pretty helpful in order of operations. So I look at dealing with anything inside of parentheses first. So the only things in parentheses are -5s, which I can't simplify any further. So I'll move to exponents. So I'm just going to simplify simply just the exponent, -5 to the second power, which really means -5 times -5, which is positive 25. And I'm honestly going to leave everything else. Sorry, I'm running out of room. I'll make that a little bit better. Minus 11 times -5 plus 34. So next I look for multiplication or division, and I look at that from left to right. So I'm going to take care of these multiplications. Okay, -6 times 25 is -150. -11 times -5 is positive 55. And then in the end I have plus 34. So to finish simplifying this, I'm just going to add together these terms, these numbers. So when I add together those numbers, I get -61. And that's my simplified expression, right? So, moving ahead, this is a good time to pause the video. Try these 2 guided practice problems on your own, and then I'll explain through them, or I'll work through them so you can check your work. So, for this guided practice, I would take 7 and substitute it in wherever I see an A in that expression. So that expression becomes 3 times 7 minus 16. No parentheses to simplify, no exponents, so I would handle the multiplication. 21 minus 16. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 minus 16 is just 5. There's my expression, evaluated. Okay, next one, we've got 2 y's in that expression, so that means I'm substituting in 3 2 times. So this becomes 2. I like putting whatever I'm substituting in parentheses usually, at least when it's raised to a power. So here, I look at this, I would do the parentheses first, right? So I'm going to leave 2 times 3 squared alone, multiplied by -7. So from there, I think I would deal with the exponent. 2 times 9 times -7. And you can do these different ways. We get to a certain point, you're going to use a calculator a lot, but it's just knowing that we can multiply these from left to right. So this becomes 18 times -7. Okay, and that becomes -126. I'm just going to circle my answer just so you guys know where I'm at. Okay, so this concludes our first video, our first example, and later on we're going to talk about how to combine like terms and what terms and coefficients are. So this would be the time where you'd stop the video and move on to the next step in your lesson.